Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 is not the year for announcements. It's the year of actions in silence. We've talked enough, we've warned, explained, begged, and tolerated. But this year, we are not wasting energy on justifications or second chances. Second chances. This year is for silently cutting off what no longer serves our growth. If they drain your energy, disturb your peace, question your worth, or delay your purpose, they don't belong in your space anymore. No arguments, no long texts, no dramatic exits. Just distance. Quiet, clean and necessary. 2025 is not about announcing your plans, broadcasting your goals, or seeking validation from others before making your next move. It's about working in silence and letting the results speak louder than your words ever could. Too often, we fall into the trap of sharing our dreams and intentions with people who either don't understand them or don't genuinely support them. And when we do that, we open ourselves up to unsolicited opinions, doubts, and energy that can dilute our focus. Silence in this context isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's choosing to hold your vision close to your chest, to build quietly, and to protect your energy from being scattered by too many voices. When you act without noise, you stay aligned, grounded, and free from distractions. You move smarter because you're not constantly explaining yourself, justifying your choices, or looking over your shoulder for approval. In 2025, you no longer have to tell people what's next. You no longer have to post every step, every plan, or every small win just to feel seen. You don't need external applause to validate internal progress. This is the year where you become so focused on the mission that you stop announcing and start becoming. You're not ghosting people. You're grounding yourself. You're not being secretive. You're being strategic. You're being strategic. Let your silence be your protection and your power. Let the discipline of your quiet grind pave the way for undeniable results. The world doesn't need to hear your every move. Just wait until they see what silence built. Removing toxic people doesn't always require confrontation, shouting matches, or dramatic goodbyes. Sometimes, the most powerful and self-respecting thing you can do is to walk away quietly and intentionally. Not everyone who comes into your life is meant to stay, and not every connection is worth holding on to, especially when it begins to cost you your peace, self-worth, or sanity. In 2025, we're no longer explaining why we're choosing distance, we're just choosing it, you. Toxicity doesn't always look obvious. It's not just loud arguments or blatant disrespect. It can be the subtle dismissals of your dreams, the silent competition, the one-sided support, the emotional manipulation masked as love, or the passive-aggressive energy that leaves you drained after every interaction. These are the connections we must learn to recognize and release, not with chaos, but with clarity. You don't have to respond to the negativity. You don't have to try and change someone who doesn't see an issue with how they treat you. People show you who they are through their patterns, not their apologies. Once you see it clearly, you owe it to yourself to protect your space. The truth is, we outgrow people long before we physically detach from them. Our spirit starts rejecting what our mind tries to justify. When that inner resistance shows up, it's a sign. This year, we're no longer entertaining energy that confuses us, makes us question our value, or keeps us stuck in cycles of disappointment. There's no need for revenge, pettiness, or even closure. Silence is enough. Distance is enough. Cutting them off isn't about hate, it's about healing. You simply stop watering what no longer grows, and you stop feeding what's been starving you. Not because you're heartless, but because you finally found the strength to choose peace over pressure. Peace is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. In a world that constantly demands your attention, your energy, and your emotional availability, protecting your peace is one of the most powerful forms of self-care. Peace is the foundation of clear thinking, genuine joy, and consistent progress. And once you experience it fully, you won't trade it for anything or anyone. Protecting your peace means understanding that not every battle is worth fighting, and not every invitation requires your presence. It means learning to say no without guilt and creating boundaries without apology. It's recognizing that your mental and emotional well-being cannot be sacrificed to keep others comfortable or to maintain appearances. Peace comes when you realize that your time and energy are sacred and you stop handing them out to people who only know how to drain them. This is the year to stop normalizing dysfunction just because it's familiar. Just because you've known someone for years doesn't mean they still deserve access to you. Just because something used to make you happy doesn't mean it still serves your spirit. Holding on to what disrupts your peace is like drinking poison, hoping you'll somehow feel better. It doesn't work, and it never will. Choosing peace often looks like silence, solitude, and separation, and while that may feel uncomfortable at first, it's the most healing decision you can make. Your peace is your power. When you protect it, you protect your ability to think clearly, to dream bigger, to love deeper, and to show up fully for the life you're building. People who genuinely care about you will respect your boundaries. Those who don't were never meant to be close. Peace isn't passive, it's a decision, a deliberate choice to stop participating in conversations, connections, and environments that rob you of your calm and clarity. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing yourself. That's a truth many people struggle with, especially those who have spent years people pleasing, over explaining, or constantly shrinking themselves to keep others comfortable. But in 2025, self prioritization is not selfish, it's necessary. It's necessary. Every time you choose your well being, your growth, your peace, or your future over keeping someone else happy at your expense, you're making a powerful statement. You matter too. Too often, we carry guilt for walking away from relationships that no longer align with who we are becoming. We feel obligated to explain why we're changing, why we're unavailable, why we don't show up the same way we used to. But growth requires space, and not everyone is entitled to be part of your evolution. The truth is, most people already know why you're pulling back. Felt they'll shift. They just want you to stay stuck, so they don't have to feel uncomfortable with your growth. Choosing yourself might look like turning down invites, declining conversations, or being less accessible. It might mean disappointing others who've come to rely on your constant yes. It might even mean walking away from long-term friendships or family dynamics that no longer serve your healing journey. And while that may stir resistance in others, remember, you don't have to explain your healing to the people who hurt you. This year is about reclaiming your voice without having to defend it. You're allowed to rest without feeling lazy, to disconnect without seeming rude, to elevate without permission, and to evolve without explanation. Not everyone will understand your path, but that's okay, because it's not their journey to understand. It's yours to live, and the more you honor your own needs without over-explaining them, the more peace you'll find. Silence isn't cold, it's a boundary. Your distance isn't bitterness, it's clarity. Your decision to put yourself first isn't arrogance, it's survival. You're not required to translate your growth for those who refuse to grow themselves. Letting go is one of the hardest, yet most transformative things you can do. We often cling to people, habits, and environments out of familiarity, comfort, or even fear of the unknown. But what many don't realize is that you cannot elevate while carrying the weight of what no longer serves you. Growth demands space, space in your mind, in your heart, and in your environment. To level up, you must make room by letting go. This year, you're being called to release the things that silently hold you back. The unhealthy attachments, the dead-end relationships, the old narratives you keep replaying in your head. You can't keep feeding your future while clinging to the past. You can't reach higher levels when your hands are full of things that no longer inspire, challenge, or support you. Letting go isn't a loss, it's a clearing. There are seasons in life where you'll realize that you've simply outgrown certain people and situations. That doesn't mean you're better than them. It means your spirit has shifted. Your values have evolved. Your priorities have matured. And in that growth, you'll feel friction. The places that once felt like home might start feeling tight, suffocating, or even toxic. That's not something to ignore. Chitsa. That's your inner compass guiding you to more aligned spaces. Sometimes it's not even the external that you need to cut off. It's the inner stories, the self-sabotage, the fear of success, or the need for approval. Those internal patterns can be just as toxic as unhealthy people. If you want to reach new levels in life, you have to be honest about what's keeping you small. Letting go is less about abandonment and more about expansion. You are not walking away from people or things because you're cold hearted. You're walking towards something better, something more aligned, something that matches who you're becoming. There is power in release. There is freedom in no longer forcing what's not flowing. It's not flowing. And while it may be painful at first to detach from the familiar, what waits for you on the other side is clarity, growth, and a sense of peace that can't be faked. The version of you that you've been trying to become is waiting on the other side of letting go. Moving in silence isn't about secrecy. It's about alignment. It's about shifting your focus from performing for the world to building for yourself. In a culture obsessed with visibility, it takes real strength to keep your head down. Do the work and let your progress speak when the time is right. In 2025, you're no longer chasing applause. You're chasing results. And the truth is, when you're truly locked in, you don't have the time or the need to broadcast every step you take. There's a quiet power in staying low while your goals rise. When you move in silence, you eliminate distractions. You stop giving people the opportunity to speak doubt over your vision. You remove the pressure of outside opinions, and you allow your process to unfold in peace. You're not hiding, you're protecting. Your energy, your ideas, your progress, it's sacred. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your transformation, especially those who secretly hope you don't make it. Silence isn't the absence of movement, it's the presence of intention. It's choosing not to waste energy explaining things to people who aren't ready to understand. It's realizing that elevation often happens in private, and by the time the world sees it, it's already done. Moving in silence doesn't mean you're afraid, it means you're focused. It means you trust yourself enough to know you don't need external validation to keep going. Let your actions build the proof. Let your consistency build the legacy. You don't need to talk about every plan, every win, or every idea. Because when it's real, people will feel it without you having to say a word. There's a different level of peace that comes from knowing you're building something authentic behind the scenes. You're not proving anything to anyone. You're becoming everything you said you would be, quietly, patiently, powerfully. And the beauty is, the silence forces people to watch instead of listen. While they're waiting for updates, your discipline is stacking results. Your quiet commitment is setting you apart. Your stillness is not stagnation. It's strategy. It's strategy. And when your progress finally becomes visible, it won't need an introduction. The results will speak so loudly, no words will be necessary. When you move in silence, you start to notice just how much noise there was in your life before. The pressure to post everything, the urge to prove something to people who didn't believe in you, the need to defend your progress to those who never showed up to support it. All of that fades when you commit to the quiet. You begin to understand that not every victory needs to be shared, and not every move needs to be announced. Some wins are for you and God alone. Some breakthroughs are meant to be felt, not flaunted. Moving in silence also reveals who really sees you. Who really sees you? When you're not broadcasting your every step, the people who still check in, still support, still believe in your vision, those are the ones who matter. Everyone else, background noise. People may start to wonder where you went, why you're distant, why you're no longer as visible, but that's okay. That means it's working. You've shifted from being accessible to being intentional. This silence, this strategy, it's not just about the people around you. It's also about you. When you quiet the external noise, you can finally hear your own voice more clearly. You stop making choices for the sake of optics and start making decisions from alignment. You learn to trust your intuition more deeply. You become your own compass instead of relying on outside directions. Silence creates space for clarity, for peace, for realignment, known. And while others are busy talking, sharing and performing, you're building. Brick by brick, skill by skill, discipline by discipline. You're creating something solid, something sustainable. And the best part is, you don't need to explain a thing. By the time you show up fully formed, people will wonder how you did it. And the answer will be simple. You moved in silence and let your success do the talking. This is the energy of 2025. Less noise, more results. Fewer announcements, more accomplishments, more accomplishments. Let your silence disturb those who once underestimated you. Let your progress be your response. And while others are watching, waiting, talking, you're working. You're working, rising, becoming, quietly, relentlessly, unapologetically. And as you continue moving in silence, you begin to notice how much lighter life becomes. There's no pressure to perform, no anxiety around proving yourself, no emotional exhaustion from seeking approval that was never yours to begin with. You're no longer caught in the cycle of oversharing and underdelivering. Instead, you're living with intention, keeping your goals sacred, and placing your energy where it matters most. On becoming, not broadcasting. You realize that real power doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't need to demand attention or constantly seek recognition. It exists quietly in your discipline. In the early mornings no one sees, in the late nights full of quiet effort. It exists in the sacrifices, in the patience, in the lessons you learn when no one is clapping. It's in the way you keep going when no one is watching, and how you trust the process even when there's no applause along the way. As your silence deepens, so does your confidence. You no longer feel the need to respond to doubts, defend your dreams, or explain your absence. Absence. You stop entertaining distractions and start nurturing your vision. You start surrounding yourself with people who understand that silence doesn't mean you're stagnant. It means you're serious. They feel your growth, even if they don't see every step of it. That's the kind of energy 2025 requires. Mature, intentional, focused. Quote, you learn to enjoy the process without needing the validation that once fueled you. Your self-worth is no longer measured by how many people notice your progress. It's measured by how at peace you feel while growing. You don't need to post it to prove it. You don't need to announce it to affirm it. You don't need to defend it to justify it. What you're building in silence has a power of its own, and when it's time to be seen, it'll speak for itself louder than words ever could. So you keep working, you keep refining, you keep evolving. Quietly crafting the version of yourself the world isn't ready for, until one day they look around and realize, you didn't disappear, you just leveled up in silence. And when that moment comes, when your growth becomes visible, when your progress can no longer be ignored, it won't feel like a surprise to you. It'll feel like confirmation. Confirmation that the silence was worth it. That the lonely seasons, the missed calls, the quiet grinding, and the boundaries you set were all leading you here. What once felt like isolation will be revealed as elevation. You weren't being overlooked. You were being prepared. People may ask, when did you change? But the truth is, the change didn't happen all at once. It happened in small, quiet moments, in the days you chose discipline over distraction, in the nights you turned pain into purpose, in the weeks you were invisible to the world but deeply in tune with yourself. You weren't trying to impress anyone, you were trying to become someone. And that transformation requires silence, solitude, and self-trust. The ones who move in silence are often the ones who make the loudest impact. Not because they forced attention, but because they became undeniable. Their work ethic became their voice. Their success became their presence. Their peace became their aura. When you master the art of silence, you don't just grow, you glow. And that glow can't be faked, copied, or dimmed. It's the kind of presence that comes from deep, authentic, internal work. You begin to realize that the more you silence the noise around you, the more powerful your inner voice becomes. You begin to navigate life with more clarity and less chaos. You stop reacting to distractions and start responding to purpose. That's what moving in silence gives you. It sharpens your vision, strengthens your spirit, and shields your mission from unnecessary interference. And while others are caught up in chasing attention, you're building legacy. Not for clout, not for show, but because it's who you are becoming. And legacy doesn't need announcements. It just needs consistency, focus, faith, and silence, the kind of silence that speaks volumes when the time is right. As you continue to build in silence, you begin to notice something remarkable, the peace that comes with it. The absence of the need to justify, to prove, to explain. Your mind is no longer cluttered with the worries of how others perceive you or your progress. There's no more second-guessing whether you're doing enough, because you know deep down that every single action you take is leading you towards something greater, and that inner certainty, that calm confidence, becomes your greatest strength. The beauty of moving in silence is that it frees you from comparison. You stop measuring your progress against others because your journey is unique. You stop looking at how others are achieving success or how fast they're moving, and instead, You start measuring your own growth by how aligned you feel with your purpose. You understand that everyone's path is different, and the only thing that matters is whether you're showing up for yourself every day, doing the work, trusting the process. This also creates space for deeper self reflection. When you're not seeking external approval or recognition, you have the opportunity to get to know yourself better. You connect with your intuition, your inner voice, and your true desires. Desires. You begin to make decisions that honor your spirit, not what others expect from you. The more you move in silence, the more you learn to trust your own instincts, and this strengthens your resilience. You realize that the opinions of others matter less and less, and your ability to navigate challenges from within becomes your superpower. And when the world finally catches up with you, they'll see someone who has weathered storms without broadcasting it, someone who has built quietly without seeking validation. People may be astonished by how you did it, but you'll know the truth. You didn't need the external noise to fuel your fire. You trusted the quiet, the process, and your own ability to rise. You were never waiting for permission. You were waiting for the right moment to step into your power. And when that moment arrives, your silence will already have spoken volumes. By the time the world notices your transformation, you'll have already evolved into a version of yourself that is unshaken by the opinions or expectations of others. Your silence wasn't about hiding, it was about refining. You won't need to explain how you got there, because your results will be undeniable. The steps you took in solitude, the growth you nurtured in the quiet, will speak louder than any word ever could. The most powerful thing about moving in silence is that it leaves no room for jealousy or doubt to enter your mind. There's no need to worry about others who might be talking about you or questioning your decisions. You've created a life where the only validation you need is your own. You've stopped looking for external affirmations, and now the only thing that matters is whether you feel fulfilled in your journey. It's not about impressing others. It's about impressing yourself, about showing yourself that you are capable of achieving great things, regardless of who's watching. As you continue down this path of silent strength, you'll find that your energy is more aligned with your true purpose. Every action, every decision, every choice will feel more authentic because you're no longer influenced by what others think. You'll find yourself surrounded by people who understand the quiet strength you carry, the kind of people who appreciate the power of stillness and know that success doesn't need a loud announcement. They'll support you without needing an explanation, and they'll be there cheering you on when the time comes for your success to shine through. Moving in silence also allows you to stay present with the work. There's no rush to get to the finish line, no impatience to see results right away. You learn to embrace the process, to enjoy each step as it comes, because you know that the journey is as important as the destination. Every day you spend building, growing, and evolving in silence is one step closer to becoming the person you've always dreamed of being. The hustle isn't a race, it's a marathon, and the quieter you move, the further you'll go without burning out. Eventually, when your success becomes undeniable, you won't even need to explain why it's happening. It will be clear to everyone that you've put in the work, that you've stayed committed, and that your rise was built on discipline, focus, and the strength to keep going, even when no one was watching. And by that point, the silence that once defined your journey will be the very thing that sets you apart, because it's proof that you didn't need validation from others to make your dreams a reality. You created your success in the quiet, and now the world is finally getting a chance to witness it.